So hello everyone, in this video we'll be talking about JavaScript variables. What are those and how we use that? So what is a variable actually? Variables are fundamental to all programming languages. Variables are used to store data like string of text, numbers, etc. So basically variables are the storage container, you can say, which stores your value for a while. So if you want to use some value in the multiple places, you will not be writing that out, and if you want to do some calculation on that value, so you will be storing that into a variable, and then you will be reusing that variable in the places where you want to use them. So the data or value stored in the variable can be set, updated, retrieved, and whenever needed. So you can change the data, you can update the data, so you can retrieve your data or you can get the data easily when you want to use that. So this is why variables are used in all the programming languages, I think. And in general, variables are symbolic names for values. So you are just giving a name to a value. For example, there is a value 15, so you are giving a variable name to that 15, so you can access that 15 with that name also. So this is what variable is. And creating variables in JavaScript is very simple. You just have to write this var keyword, which we already seen in the last or the previous slides. So you just have to write this var keyword. What are keywords? Keywords are the reserved words in JavaScript which are used to do some operations or different kind of operations in JavaScript. So you just have to write this var keyword, which is here, and then you have to write the variable name which you want. So variable name is a name which you want to give to that value, so any name you can write, and then you can assign the declare this variable by this var name, and after that you can assign the value to this variable by using this equal symbol. And after that, this equal symbol after this equal symbol you will be writing your value on which you want to assign this name to, so or this variable to. So this 21 for in this case is assigned to this age variable. So whenever I will access this age, so 21 will be written out. And if I use this name keyword or name variable, then this Peter Parker will be written out. And also when we are using this is married variable, then this false will be written out. And you can see that I have already made you understand about this statement, that one statement is when the one statement is finished, you have to terminate this with this semicolon symbol. So after that, you can see that a different kind of data is assigned to variables. Like string is assigned when you when you add double or single quotes to uh, any value, then it becomes a string. We'll be understanding the strings in the later videos or the slides as well. And this 21 is nothing but the number, and this false is nothing but a boolean value. Boolean is true or false. So this is what we are writing. And you can also declare multiple variables at one time. So like we are declaring three variables with three var keywords, right? So var is repeated, so you can use a single var keyword and you can declare these all three variables. So let me just show you how. So this is var keyword, you are using this one time, and yeah, we are declaring this three variables which we declared earlier. So this name, and then we didn't put any semicolon here, we just put this comma, and after that we declared another variable which is age, and then again comma, then we declared another variable is married, and after that when we are finished, then we added this semicolon, so to complete this statement. So this is how we do that. You can make it into separate lines to look more clearer, so will be good in readability, so that's why it came into the next line. So this is also one way to, this is also another way to add variables and declare variables. So this is what I want to tell you. And then after that, there are let and const keywords as well, like var. There are some let and const keywords also in the ES6 version of JavaScript. So after like this is these keywords are also used to declare variables or to create variables, but they have different kind of concept, so you can understand them. The thing is simple and same with these new keywords which are let and const. So we are doing that similarly with these keywords. And let and const are different. Let and const are different with var keyword, because let is, you can say, let variable is a block scope variable. So if inside you'll be understanding that block concept, so that is kind of curly brackets inside that. If we write something, so it will not be accessed by other functions, or outside that block we cannot access that variable. But if we write that with the var keyword, then we can access that variable. So this is some kind of difference. And the const cannot be cannot be reassigned. Whenever you want to create a variable which has a fixed value and you don't want to change the value in the future, and you don't want to change that value after any code execution, then you will be using this const keyword. So for example, it used this pi, and inside that it assigned value 3.14. So if we reassign some new value like pi equals 10, so we are updating the previous value 3.414 to 10. So you cannot do this. Okay, so you cannot directly assign a new value to a const variable, but you can do this kind of thing in the other let and var also. So in let and var you can reassign the value, but in const you cannot reassign it. It is a constant, you can say. It's a concept in maths, so constants are fixed, they are not changed. So this is let and const. And you can see that unlike var, which declare function scope variables, both let and const variable declare variables scoped at block level. So block level code is inside a block. You can only use this let and const variables inside a block, but this var can be used inside the whole function. So that's why var and let are different, and const also. Block scoping means that a new scope is created between a pair of curly brackets. So whenever there are curly brackets, so you can see that that's a new scope, or a block scope, you can say. So if we write any variables inside this curly bracket, so then that will not be will not be able to access outside that block if they are declared with let and const. If they are declared with var, so we can use in all the functions wherever you want to do that. We'll discuss this in the later practical examples. Also, how should we name our JavaScript variables, like variable names specifically? So whenever you're creating a variable, we just created three variables just now. One was name and age, and then there was is married. So how the naming should be there? So naming for the variable should follow these points which are there. A variable name must start with a letter, underscore, or dollar sign. You can start a name or start a variable name with only a letter, or an underscore, or a dollar. You cannot start a variable name with a number. That's a very important point. So you cannot start number like 4 name. You cannot do that. But you can do name 4. So you can do that. So a variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters A to Z, 0 to 9, and underscores. You cannot you cannot add spaces in between the variable names. Also, a variable cannot contain spaces. This is one point. A variable name cannot be a JavaScript keyword or a JavaScript reserved word. A JavaScript keyword or JavaScript reserved word is like a keyword which is used for doing some special operations. So just like var, you cannot use that var again. So for naming your variables, you cannot use var. So that's why some JavaScript keywords are there which I listed out. So these are some JavaScript reserved words. You cannot reuse them inside a variable name. As a variable name, you cannot use these keywords. So this is one important point. So you cannot declare a variable with else Okay, you cannot name where else. You can that's a wrong thing. You cannot do that. So that is I wanted to tell you. So I think this is the end of the slides. Let's do let's meet in the another one, and thank you for watching the video.